All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for the Township of North Kawartha. It is August 12th, and I'd like to welcome those folks that are joining us in real time, whether it's in person or online. And I also want to remind everybody that our meetings are recorded and they are uploaded to our YouTube channel. So any comments or opinions that are expressed will be recorded and available for the public to hear. Okay, and with that, I'm going to ask if there's any member of the committee that has any interest with any of the matters before us. Seeing none, I will then move on to adoption of the agenda. I think it's pretty straightforward. There's no additions or anything, right? Okay. Mover for that, please. Moved by Ruthann, seconded by Jim Whalen. All in favor? The agenda has been adopted. And I will declare then that we are going into a statutory public hearing for the purpose of hearing two applications here this morning. These public hearings provide an opportunity for residents to request planning relief from our rules and regulations, and it also provides an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments on those requests for relief. And we encourage everyone to submit their comments either in writing or in person verbally. However, recent changes to the Planning Act have removed the right of appeals on Committee of Adjustment decisions. As per section 4512 of the Planning Act, only the applicant, public agencies, and specified persons may appeal committee decisions. And for those folks, the 20-day appeal period applies from the day the decision is made. I think I've covered everything, so I'm going to turn it over to our planner, Laura. Good morning, welcome, and take us through the first one, please.
Good morning, committee. Thank you very much. So the first application is minor variance 11-25. And the recommendation is that the Committee of Adjustment approve this application to permit the increase in lot coverage for an accessory use to allow for a bunkhouse use of 53.3 square meters in the area, and to permit an accessory use, which is the garage with loft bunkhouse, with a height of 7.54 meters to be located 2.87 meters from the rear yard. I did put together a report for this application, and as you can see, there is also an excerpt from the site plan that shows the garage is well out of the 30-meter high water mark. It's located as close to the rear of the property as possible. The way that the traveled portion of Hemlock Point Road goes, there will be no obstruction to the road. Essentially, this is just asking for an increase in area. Part of that area is the stairs and landing, which is included in the total floor area for a bunkhouse use. So that makes up a little over 2 square meters of the floor area. The height is just a small accommodation. The application does meet the 4 tests of the minor variance, being that it is minor in nature, it is desirable and appropriate. It does meet the intent of the official plan, and it does meet the intent of the comprehensive zoning bylaw for the corporation of the Township of North Kawartha. It also meets the intent of the provincial planning statement. It's representative of good planning, and it should be approved.
Okay, all right, thank you for that, Laura. Now I'm just looking to see if the applicant or the applicant's representative is here and would like to speak on this application. Maybe add further information to what Laura presented, but I don't see anybody online. There's nobody here in the gallery. So I will then ask if there's any member of the public that is here, either online or present in the gallery, that would like to provide comment on this application. And we haven't received anything written on this, Laura?
We have not.
Okay. And I don't see any indication that anybody wants to comment on this, so I'm turning it over to committee. Questions, comments, or a motion, please. Anyone? Jim O'Shea.
Yeah, I'll move the recommendation as it meets the 4 tests of the minor variance.
Okay, is there a seconder for that? Seconded by Ruthann. All those in favor? That is approved.
Thank you very much, committee.
Thanks, Laura. Okay, and we will move on now to the next item listed on the agenda. Now, this is a little bit different. This is dealing with an application that came before this committee a few years ago. And I believe that we have our solicitor present, and I believe the applicants are here, and maybe the applicant's solicitor as well. I'm not sure how we want to start this off here, because we do have We have the information, the reports and notice and site plan that was provided with the application originally, but there's also a delegation here, request from Mr. Richard Taylor, who's the solicitor for the applicant. I don't see him on, but I do see the two applicants and I see our solicitor. So John, maybe I'll let you start and if Mr. Taylor shows up, then we can certainly go to him.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to yourself and committee. This matter comes before you this morning as a result of a motion brought by Mr. Tim Gray, and it's to revisit essentially a decision that was rendered back on July the 18th, 2023 by this Committee of Adjustment. And specifically, Madam Chair, the decision when rendered at the time addressed only two of the requested variances. At the time of the application, four variances were being sought. The decision, for whatever reason, only addressed two and left off or was silent to the other two. So essentially, there was a no decision or non-decision on the remaining two other variances being requested by the applicant. And so the purpose this morning is to address the motion, to have the matter, if committee's inclined, to move to a new Committee of Adjustment hearing, a fresh hearing, to deal with the remainder of the application that was rendered back in 2023. So essentially, going back in time, if you will, to address and focus on those two variances that were not addressed in the decision of July the 18th, 2023. The basis for doing so is on the fact that the decision was silent or did not address it. So for all intents and purposes, Madam Chair, the application is a live application and can be dealt with on a fresh hearing before this Committee of Adjustment with proper notice, of course, in accordance with the provisions of Section 45 of the Planning Act.
Okay, so the idea is we're not doing a whole new recirculation or anything like that. It's basically, we're just going to kind of carry on and address those two that were missed, correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, Jim.
John, wouldn't you have to do another circulation?
You have the application.
Oh, she meant the application.
Sorry, if I said circulation, I didn't mean that. I meant application. They're not doing a brand new application. Sorry. Yeah.
That's correct, Madam Chair, and to you, Mr. Whalen. No new application required, but a new hearing is required, and that'll have circulation in accordance with the notice provisions of the Planning Act.
So, Madam Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
John, this is the way you see it. The solicitor for the applicant agree with that?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think it's the fair way to deal with it. The decision was, for whatever reason, inadvertence or misadventure, simply did not address the two other variances that were being sought. It's quite clear in the application, as well as the report that was submitted in support of the variances, which was supported by the planner at the time. They were identified, but for whatever reason, we don't have a record as to why it wasn't addressed. But clearly, four variances were being sought. Two were granted. Two were not addressed, and the decision was silent. So in terms of having this matter moved to a conclusion without the necessity of any appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal, I think the fair and equitable way to deal with it would be for committee to have these two other variances addressed at a fresh hearing, only hearing those two variances, but again with proper circulation to anyone required under the Planning Act.
Well, we sure don't want to end up at LPAT, so what kind of a motion do we need?
I know.
Sorry, find the mayor.
Well, and if it's okay with the committee, I mean, let's just put it out there and see. So, and I will say it's, thanks to our clerk, that the motion would be the committee directs staff to provide public notice for the variances identified in the staff report dated July 18th, 2023, that were not addressed in the committee decision of that date. And further, that a public hearing be held to receive public comments at the October 7th, 2025 Committee of Adjustment meeting. So that's the motion. I think that covers everything. And actually, just before I go, if I may, I see that we do have Peter Gray and Tim Gray here. And these are the applicants. I don't know if you want to maybe provide a comment or anything, but does this make sense to you that what we're planning to do? I know that Richard did speak with John about this, and I felt this was the best way forward. And I just didn't want to give you an opportunity if you wanted to make a comment, but you don't have to. Oh, there's Peter Gray. Good morning.
Morning. Morning, Mr. Ur and council. Thank you. Yeah, we understand this is the correct way forward and appreciate the chance to have the remaining two portions heard at the October 27, 25 meeting.
Yeah, it's this October 7th. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, well then I'm going to look to committee members. Anybody have any questions or comments, or maybe you want to make that motion?
So
Cool.
I will make that motion, but separately, I think this is a good reason to reconsider our 6-month deletion of our YouTube video policy.
It's 1 year, actually.
Oh, 1 year, because I think, as far as I know, YouTube allows no maximum number of uploads and holds them indefinitely, so we could be using it as a very thorough record in situations like this, but I do support the motion and would make it.
Okay, so you're gonna make the motion. Is there a seconder for that? Seconded by Ruth Ann. All those in favor? That is approved. Thanks very much, everyone, and we'll see you back in about a month and a half. All right, thanks, John. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, let me get back to the agenda here. That is it. So I'm going to declare that we're out of statutory public hearing. And we just need to adopt the minutes of the previous committee of adjustment meeting that was held on July 15th. Moved by Colin, seconded by Jim Whalen. All those in favor? The minutes have been adopted, and motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Jim O'Shea and seconded by Colin. We're all in favor. See you back here shortly as council.